All right, guys, so we're on page 9 from this week, and the first problem here for A through D, all you're really having to do is set up the expression. It just wants you to practice putting the products over the reactants. So for the very first one, all the products that we have is N2O4, and then that concentration, which has to be in molarity, will be raised to the second power. That 2 came from that exponent, or not the exponent is the coefficient, sorry. And that is going to be divided by NO, concentration raised to the fourth, times O2 raised to the second, and then that would equal what's called K, or the equilibrium constant. That's all you're wanting you to do here, is just to practice setting up the problems that it's products over reactants and putting the correct exponent, okay? And then as we move down the page, you're using the same pieces of information to set up your equation and solve. So for number 2, they're asking you to solve for K, so pretty simple. When they're asking you to solve for concentration, like in number 3, that one gets a little bit more difficult. So I'm gonna actually set this one up for you because it's a little bit harder to deal with. Now, they tell you that the equilibrium constant is 6, so you're actually gonna start with that. It could be on the right or the left side of the equation, it doesn't matter, but it's just gonna be 6 and then it equals, and then you're gonna set up what you have for your products. So we have HI as our product, and if you look up in the equation, the concentration for HI is 0.9. 0.9 molar, and then that's gonna be raised to the power of 2. I got the 2 from the balanced equation. Always check and make sure it's balanced. Divided by H2 and then I2. So here's H2, 0.3, and it's raised to a power of 1, so it doesn't really change it. And then I2 is what we're trying to find. So you just put X, and it's also raised to the power of 1, and that's totally fine. If it's raised to the power of 2, you have to be careful. In order to get an X, if it was raised to the power of 2, you would have to take the square root. You'll have practice with that as well. So again, you're just really trying to solve for X. So you're gonna do some algebra. You multiply both sides by X, and then you would have 6X, and then you're gonna divide by 6. So basically, your new equation should look like X equals 0.9 squared divided by 0.3 to the 1 power times 6. Again, anything on the bottom of that fraction, if you have 2 numbers, you need to make sure your calculator's doing this math before it divides. So setting it up in a fraction function is really important. You can also use parentheses. They don't actually have to be brackets. Brackets simply mean concentration, or that the number should be in molarity. The constant for K does not have a unit because it's a constant. Hopefully this was helpful.